Hi friends, day 2 of car chat, and I am really excited about finding out that I could actually secure this phone to the back of the visor and still be able to chit chat. What I'm saying is do videos without having to use my hands or anything like that, which is awesome. So it's just like having someone sitting in your car and you're talking to them. So it's not dangerous in any way. Just wanted to put that out there. I know some of you get really nervous when I do car videoing, but if I do not have to use my hands and I'm not looking at the camera, it's no different than if I were just chatting with somebody sitting in my front seat. So that being said, I wanted to thank you guys so much for being so well receiving of my video yesterday. It was a difficult video to make, and I just wanted to speak to it for just a minute because there was a couple comments that made me think that maybe I wasn't clear about a couple of things. So the first thing is I want to be very clear that I am not doing away with like all of the content that you guys are used to. I'm not doing away with vlogs completely, and I'm not doing away with like recipes completely, and I'm not doing away with planner videos completely, or like organizing videos. Those are still things that I enjoy, and I think there's a place for that, and I think there's a place to share that. Homeschooling videos, I think that's a wonder. There's all, you know, there's a lot to be said for videos like that that show, you know, better ways to do things or new ideas or things like that. And I am still gonna make those videos. Actually, I'm gonna do a homeschooling video today. But what I wanted to say is that I want to do more and make my primary focus, instead of vlogs, instead of stuff like that, which was my primary focus. Before, my primary focus was like organizing, vlogging, daily vlogging, things like that. And I would pull in from time to time chats about faith and religion and living Christian life and things like that. But now I want my focus to be more living the Christian life and what that means, and things I'm learning and books I'm reading, and just things that, you know, the Holy Spirit is teaching me. And then I want to sprinkle along homeschooling videos, cleaning videos, vlog videos, as kind of like secondary to that, to show like what is the practical, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the practical part of living a godly life. So in practicality, how does that look whenever we're serving our family? How does it look whenever we're, you know, homeschooling our children? Things like that. Like, you know, being a Proverbs 31 wife. Things like that. So anyway, I just want to be very clear that those videos are not going away. It's just that I want to switch my focus a little bit, instead of that being the primary theme, to, you know, the Lord and faith and going deeper in your walk as a Christian. I want that to be the primary focus, with the other part to back it up. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I felt like maybe it was a little confusing, and a few people left a few comments that made me think maybe I didn't clarify that enough. So that being said, I'm on my second day of work, my second out of 3. I'm working Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week. I like to do that on my work weekends because I like to have like 3 or 4 days off in a row. I feel like I get a lot more done when I have like chunks. Like I work for a chunk, off for a chunk. So I prefer to kind of do it that way, even though it's really difficult sometimes, because if I work a day, off a day, work a day, off a day, I'm exhausted. And I feel like all I do is work. But whenever I like work 3 days in a row, I just know that these 3 days are devoted to work, and then I'm gonna have 4 days this week that I'm devoting, you know, like a chunk of it, you know, like to my family and homeschooling and all the things that need to be done. So that being said, this is day 2. Yesterday, y'all, was so hard. It was a busy day in the ER. literally from the time I walked through those doors until 3 a.m. I was running my butt off. It was insanely crazy. But I'm going like totally down a rabbit hole right now. So what I need to do is I need to go ahead and get to the point. And the point of this video that I wanted to make is homeschool and our homeschool decisions for the coming homeschool year. So this past year was like really weird. I had Jacob in challenge 1, and then Mason and Maddie took a break. We didn't do challenge last year at all. I mean challenge. We didn't do classical conversations with them at all. We weren't part of a community. I was pregnant. I was not working. Like financially, it was a little too expensive than what we had to spend. Jacob's tuition is like $1,300 plus books and then money every time they go, it seemed like, for something else. So like it just wasn't really financially doable for us last year for the little kids. And so we just kind of like, I picked and choose I basically, you know, put together the curriculum that I wanted to use with them. But last year, as you guys know, I was pregnant, I was sick, we were dealing with a ton of like external. Sorry about that, you guys. My husband just called me, so it cut the video off. So anyway, last year, I don't want to get off topic too much, but it was kind of a hectic year, and so we're changing things up. Jacob is actually wanting to go to public school. He will be in the same, he won't be in the same school as his brother, but they'll be in the same school district, and then Gavin will be starting that school next year after he completes this year. So they'll eventually be in the same school, which I think will be good. We really didn't want Jacob to go to public school. If we had it our way, like nobody would, you know, but since Gavin is already attending public school, then, you know, he kind of wanted to do that, and so we're going to let him do that, because we always reevaluate our decisions every year. So Jacob will be going to public school this fall, and he will be in high school, and he'll be a sophomore. And Mason and Maddie we're going to be starting a new classical conversations community. So I was on the fence about whether or not we were going to continue CC or go in a different direction. And I kind of always go back to CC because of a few reasons. The first reason is the memory work for classical conversations is really, really good for the kids. It's very, very, very rich in just facts, and they do the memorization, and it just works really well when we really dig into the memory work. It also is awesome that we have one day a week where we go to a community. The kids have interaction with other kids and families. There's field trips, and every week they do a presentation. So every single week they have to stand up in front of their class and they have to give a presentation, and I've seen how wonderful that is for the kids to get that practice. So I've emailed our local CC group from where we just, you know, to the community that we just moved into, and they had a space for Maddie in the 4-5 class. They did not have a space available in the 8-year-old class, but they did have a space in the 6-7-year-old class, and they do the same memory work. They all do the same memory work. They just do it in a little bit of a different way. So we're gonna put Mason in there. Maybe a spot will open up in the older class, but I'm not really that worried about it because it is the same material. So Mason's gonna be in that class, Maddie will be in the 4-5 class, and we will have community day every Tuesday. I'm really excited to get back into it. So I'm getting ready to submit all my forms, pay the tuition for them, and secure our spot for that community, and start hardcore homeschool planning for the fall. We are still doing some homeschooling this summer. We're still working through finishing Mason's math book, still finishing the spelling book. I'm still having him just do a lot of reading. We're still doing read alouds. And another thing that I want to work with him a little more this summer is some writing prompts and getting him some more practice, because I kind of feel like we didn't really focus enough on that, like writing, grammar, things like that. So I'm going to focus a little more heavily through the rest of the summer with him on that. But he is making wonderful progress, and I think it's important as homeschool moms to remember that we're not following, you're not held to the public school, you know, standards, such as like they have to be doing this by this time, they should be doing this by this time. You're kind of going with your kid and you're moving at their pace as homeschoolers. You don't want to slack off on, you know, not teaching them things that they need to learn, but you can go at your own pace and you don't have to be at a certain place at a certain time. So anyway, I have to continue to remind myself that when I tend to get like, oh no, maybe he's behind on this or this, and see that no, he's following his own like growth curve in a way for homeschooling. So remember that if you're a homeschool mom, that you know, don't have to stress about that kind of stuff, you know, if they're this age and not doing this or whatever. So that's our plan. Jake's going to public school, Gavin will be in public school, Mason and Maddie in Classical Conversations community. So our community day on Tuesday, I will make sure that I don't work on Tuesdays, and I will make sure to try to also not work on Wednesdays. So that way I have those 2 days kind of blocked off each week to like really focus on the homeschooling. So how we're doing homeschooling with me working 3 days a week is I have 4 other days during the week that I can do school with my kids. With that being said, those other 2 days every other week do fall on a weekend. So it takes a lot of discipline to always homeschool on the days that I'm not working. So my husband has been stepping in some and doing some of the homeschooling lessons with the kids. He's willing to do that, you know, going into the fall. There's a lot that I think I need to do to sort of guide him in the right direction with to-do lists and things like that, because I don't know if y'all's husband is like mine or whatever, but he's definitely not like an organized type of person, and he knows that and is perfectly fine with me sharing that information. And he's very, very go with the flow-ish. He's just like, you know, let's do this now, you know, at this time, and well, we'll take a break and we'll, you know, do a little bit here and do a little bit there, which is great sometimes to balance my type A personality out, but sometimes it's not so great whenever some things really need to get done. So we're gonna like work together to come up with more of a schedule and plan that is doable for that last day. Especially on the weeks where I'm working on the weekends. Anyway, I don't know if that made sense, but that's what we're gonna do. It's totally doable to work and homeschool. It is way more challenging if you have to work and homeschool, but it's definitely doable. And I plan to share kind of more what that looks like for our family in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about what we're going to be doing. As far as like math and language arts for Mason and Maddie, I'm still on the fence about those, because we do need to pull those curriculums in to go along with Classical Conversations. But I'm kind of leaning toward switching Mason's math. He's been Horizons math since he started homeschool, and I'm kind of thinking that it's time to switch. We may go into Math UC, which I used 1 year with Jacob and I really liked. So I'm probably going to be looking into that. And with Maddie, she's going to be kindergarten, so I probably will do the same with her, and just do the lowest level Math UC with her. As far as like language arts for both of them, I'm not 100% sure. I'm still researching that. So that will be to be determined at some later date. So anyway, I'm going to continue to drive. I'm literally going 2 miles an hour right now in traffic, as I always do on 77. If you guys are local, you know what I'm talking about. and I am going in to put my 12 hours in. So I will see you guys very soon. Talk to you later. Bye.